With a narrow majority in the House, Republicans will likely be able to block a lot of President Biden's agenda come January. But what does it mean for abortion in America? ABC News senior national policy reporter Ann Flaherty has more on that. And abortion has been a driving force in the GOP for so long, but every ballot on this issue put to voters in the midterms went in the direction of abortion rights, even in conservative states. So what does this all mean for where this battle over abortion rights goes next?
Well, that's right, Diane. I mean, this is something that we've seen in the polls leading up to the election. But the big question was whether or not voters would put abortion front and center over inflation, which they did not. We saw it as a close #2 issue, which was actually surprising to many poll watchers. But it did not dominate. So as you see on the board now, it's 53% of Democrats, or of the nation, of all voters, 53% trusted Democrats on this issue of abortion. So what happens next? The president is still going to veto anything that House Republicans could possibly try to propose, and it would be very unlikely to get through the Senate, which Democrats still control by a very thin margin. On the flip side of that is that Democrats aren't going to be able to, they don't have a filibuster-proof majority to push through anything. So right now, I think the issue is certainly just at a standstill.
In terms of messaging, some anti-abortion groups criticize Republicans for being too wishy-washy on the subject, not being forceful enough. So is it possible, despite the way all these ballot measures went, that Republicans will actually try to strengthen anti-abortion messaging?
You know, I think what we're going to see is them pushing this back to the states. That is a tested message that they've had. Say, you know, this is a state's issue. Let's have the states decide this. You know, we saw some governors in really, really red states like DeSantis embrace this idea of a 15-week abortion ban. That can pull in some support from independent voters. I think it's worth pointing out that that wouldn't stop the vast majority of abortions. 93% occur before that 15-week window. You know, I think Republicans are going to have a conversation on this because we saw that they were out of step with many voters on this. Most likely, though, you're going to see them try to avoid this issue or say, just let's leave it up to the states.
Now, in Georgia, the 6-week abortion ban has just been overturned by a Fulton County judge. So what happens next there?
So the Attorney General in Georgia has asked that the Georgia Supreme Court weigh in. They say that they are willing to defend the laws of the state, that voters have already spoken on this. The judge has said, well, you did this before Roe v. Wade fell. So you want to revisit this in a way that voters will watch, because now we're talking about abortion rights, whereas they weren't before. So I think this is going to be a closely watched case to be determined whether or not it gets all the way to the Supreme Court, where we have more conservatives who would likely support the state on this.
Now, exit polls placed abortion surprisingly high on voting issues, second only to inflation. So what does this mean for the future of abortion-related legislation? Should we expect to see more on that?
So, you know, I don't know that we're going to see it at the federal level. I think we might see it at the state level, but a lot of Republicans are not wanting to talk about this right now. They know that it's a losing issue. They know that 6 in 10 voters want abortion to be legal in most or all cases.
All right, Ann Flaherty, we appreciate it as always. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.